Apple is one of the greatest companies this world has ever seen, and I think I know why. It's because they just don't care. They have so much money, they can do whatever they want. And that's the spot that I want to be in. And so I was up in Nashville 2 weeks ago for a conference. I was there with my buddy Ethan. He was getting a new phone, because his microphone or something like that was broken. And they just replaced his phone outright. They were like, you know what? It would cost XYZ to replace the microphone, but we're just going to give you a new phone because that's easier to do than to go through that whole process, right? And so maybe that saves them money because they don't have to have a technician trained on that specific iPhone, right? It's just easier just to give them a new phone, whatever it is. But when we were there, the data was transferring. It took like 30 minutes. And the guy who was helping us told us a story. So I was like, tell me about the place. I saw it over here. This is something I saw. I was telling him, I saw over there you have the self-serve or self-checkout for your phone cases. That's crazy. And so it was this thing where there's all these phone cases on the wall. They've turned this display into a self-checkout. You pop it out, and then you pull out the phone case that you want for your particular iPhone in that color. Then you scan the back of it, and it checks out. You just check out online. You press submit. It's basically like buying an app on the App Store, except you're buying a phone case through this online payment thing. It's genius because now they don't need someone over there doing the case processing. It's very easy just to go over and buy one. But anyways, this guy, just telling me some of the stuff about the store. He's like, those seats up front, those are made out of Ferrari leather. I was like, no way. He's like, yeah, each one of those costs $300. That's pretty cool. Those trees up front, they were grown up in Michigan or wherever it was. That's what it was. He's like, they were grown over in Sacramento or wherever, Apple in California, wherever their home base is. It was grown there and shipped over. I was like, what? That's crazy. He's like, yeah, and the roots are in like a root ball. So we just water the roots and they're live trees. I was like, that's crazy. He's like, look at this table right here. And he waved his hand over it. And then this thing popped up. I was like, what is that? He's like, there's a light sensor that when you wave your hand over the top, it opens up an outlet port to plug in your computer. I was like, are you serious? Yeah, look. Waves it, opens up. Dude, this is wild. The technology that they had. There's a little drawer on the side of it where they have a magnet on the back of their phone. And that when you tap it to the side drawer, it opens up a drawer. So there's no, papers thrown out all over. It's just very clean workspace because they have all their stuff, each individual employee, inside of the tables where the actual people sit down to, get the different iPhones or whatever it is. They've got a lot of things like that just make it seamless. It's just beautiful how the store worked. And that's the Apple experience. That's how they're able to charge exorbitant amounts of money, whatever the word is for that. They deliver that experience, right? And so I'm willing to go in there and pay that because I'm recording on an iPhone right now. It's beautiful. I'm looking at it. I look at it every single day. Anyways, the reason why Apple, on top of all these things, why I want to be exactly like them. He was telling me this one last story. He's like, you see those glass windows? I was like, yeah, tell me about them. 25, 30 feet tall windows, right? If you ever have been in Nashville, if you walk down to downtown Nashville, right there is the Apple store. You got to see it or look it up right after you watch this video. But these windows are just massive. They're beautiful. He's like, those are 4-inch thick or something like that. Bulletproof glass. That's crazy, He's like, when we were installing them, there's only one company in the world that makes these glass panels. And there's only one company in the United States that installs them. And so Apple was renovating the store and they had to shut down all of Broadway. It cost them X amount of money to shut down the street. And just so they could put up these glass panels, right? And so they shut everything down. They're like calling up the window company. Hey, what's going on? Where are the panels? And of course, this is the story. Maybe it didn't go this way, but he goes, the company told him, oh, we have another order that we have to take care of. We're not going to be able to get to yours for a couple of, weeks or whatever it was. And Apple, the owner of the Apple store or wherever it was, told them that they needed it. Like, hey, we're this massive customer. We're Apple. We need these glass doors installed. We shut down all of Broadway just so that you could come in here and install your damn glass panels, right? Glass windows. And so then, long story short, instead of waiting and going through all this stuff, they realized, most likely, that they were one of the biggest customers. They just bought the company. And he told me, he's like, yeah, when the glass windows got installed, and it took them a while, they just decided to just buy the company because they're going to be doing this at all the different Apple stores that they do, and so then that's who they are. They're big enough just to buy the company and not have to worry about the customer service that comes along with one of those glass window companies. I think it's kind of crazy that they were able to be in that spot, and so they put their money towards the thing that matters, is equity, right? They own that company now, and they get to decide who installs whose door or windows, and if they have an Apple store, that's top priority, and Apple doesn't slow down for this little company, right? Okay, so then how does that apply in my life? Well, I'm looking to make a very large purchase sometime soon here to process the woodworking investment that I've put money into, right? And I figured if I'm going to be putting this much money into it, does it make sense to pay someone else to do it? Or if it's like a third, a fourth of the cost of the processing equipment, why wouldn't I just buy the equipment? Most people, most businesses and real estate owners and the world is just fake money. People just decide that they want a line of credit to go out and purchase this thing. And so then the bank says, hey, you'll create this money one day. We've seen your track record. And so we're going to give you this line of credit to buy it today so that you can start putting money towards something for your business. That's how most of the world works, right? And so then most money is just created. Like the global economy is just always going up because people take the leap and say, there is value to be created here. We're going to give you this value now so that you can go out and create it. And then we make money by taking that risk on you. I don't even know how it all works. It's just absurd. Long story short, Apple just bought the or the glass window company. Why would I not do the same in my own business? If I'm going to be spending over $10,000 potentially to, long term, let's say, to do this type of woodworking investment, why would I not just buy the equipment outright? Even if it takes me 4 years to pay it off. Well, I know that this is year one and I can do it again next year. And worst case scenario, I could just sell the equipment, right? But I'm putting money towards equity, not towards an expense. An expense would be paying someone else to do it. They're going to upcharge because, they're doing a service. And they're also most likely paying off their own equipment. I might as well just buy the equipment myself, do it myself, save some money, and put money towards equity. My company owns something instead of having expenses all the time. Another way of looking at it is like the whole reason why I moved back in with my mom for the next couple of months is that I could put money that was an expense that was going towards rent every single month towards an investment. So I'm reinvesting the profits, right? Another way to look at this, when I raise my children one day, I'm going to keep the money in the family. So the lawn and yard services that need to get done, my kids. The fence that needs to get repaired, my son. The XYZ that needs to get done. I'm going to pay my son, my daughter, any of them to do it because I'm keeping money in the family. Doesn't matter how much money I have. When I'm worth $100 million, my kids will be doing that. So just to teach them the concept of keeping the profit inside the ecosystem. Keep it all in here, right? Because every time it goes out, it's like blood, You can only give a liter of blood at a time. Well, most businesses are giving all their blood all at the same time, They have expenses. Every single week they're producing just enough to get by, and that's not how you live. You got to set up a system somehow to keep money in a system, to recycle it, to put it all together, to keep it in one thing, and that's what equity is. But I thought that was an exciting story. I wanted to share it, and I want you to take that perspective. What areas of your life are you just purchasing things nonstop? Always spending money. And how can you, instead of spending money, put money into equity? Now, if you look at it from your personal life, maybe you're older than 22, so you can't live at home with your parents. So there's some things that are going to be fixed costs, right? But if you look at it from a business perspective, or I don't even know, maybe just a general budgeting thing, or a budgeting thing in general, becoming a library. And so all your buddies you borrow their books and they borrow yours, that type of thing, or just to save money, or buying bulk food packages, going straight to a farm with your buddies and you buy a cow for $500 that feeds, you split up into 4 parts. That's $125 a person, and it feeds you for a month and a half or whatever it is, right? Just finding ways to come together, buy in bulk, save money, or mainly to put money towards equity instead of expenses. I'm gonna leave you with that. Why not us?